Good morning, everyone. A warm welcome to Sweden country session today. And it's been an honor being invited to such an important topics we are discussing today. And happy to share insights on what Sweden has been doing on these topics for the last 150 years. My name is Pritam. I'm a project manager in Business Sweden. Business Sweden is Sweden's quasi-government body. We represent Swedish government here in India, being involved in the important policy dialogues, government dialogues across the sectors, being a part of the state delegations, ministries, visits to India. And we closely work with the Swedish industry here in India and 50 plus markets. A bit more about our organization. We are more than 100 plus year old organization. We are present in 54 plus market. A team of 500 plus people who are working across these markets to help Swedish companies and international companies expand beyond the borders. And we are very much focused on the topics that was discussed in the energy, advanced engineering, chemicals, material science, automotive, life sciences, etc. So I think Ashish is sitting here. I was actually also taking notes. And the notes which I was taking, I've noted the keywords which were discussed. Material science, knowledge, know-how, ecosystem, technology access, corporate support, competitiveness at global scale, advanced manufacturing, resource efficient, and lastly, sustainability. So I'll show you a video that will answer on how Sweden has been thinking, working on all these keywords for the last 100, 150 years. It has been the core of their DNA and how they develop the industry, how they interact with the international organizations, and eventually how they are looking forward to help Indian organizations, Indian industry to come along and also grow at the global scale.
Sweden is only the 92nd in population size, but still, we rank second at the Global Innovation Index. We know that ideas have the potential to grow if you give them the right conditions. With 41, we have the second highest number of unicorns globally per capita. That makes us number one when it comes to startup value per capita in the EU, and number 4 globally. We always strive for a global impact. In 1867, Alfred Nobel invented dynamite, and in his will he left most of his fortune to establish the Nobel Prize. Today, the prize has honored around 1,000 pioneers whose ideas have shaped the world. Through RISE, the 4th largest research institute in Europe, we drive innovation and change through applied research. We now rank 2nd globally for patents per capita and 9th in absolute numbers. The triple helix model brings together academia, industry and government to be innovative, drive economic growth and societal development. Being ranked 2nd in the European Skills Index, we have a highly educated, skilled and productive workforce. A movement can be strong enough to change the world. Sweden is spearheading change in life sciences, advanced manufacturing, transport, energy and digital technologies. We have the resources to make a difference. The Luleå River flows 460 kilometers long and generates about 10% of Sweden's electricity. We rank number 2 globally in the Sustainable Development Goals Index, and already 99% of our energy generation is fossil-free. Stockholm is Europe's 3rd largest hub for global corporate headquarters, and with a low corporate tax rate and a resilient economy, the numbers are growing in Sweden. With a high level of innovation, digitalization and collaborations, we have the capacity to support and grow your business. Join the innovators, the doers and the pioneers. We are open for business.
I hope it does answer many of the questions and the keywords that I noted just right now. So why I'm here today? So I'm not here to present any investment opportunities, projects, or talk about the regulations. We are here to showcase on what Sweden can help or which areas Sweden can help accelerate Indian industries. So I have few topics to discuss. Primarily, I will not go each of them. I know I have a limited time and you must be waiting for the next session. But I'll cover 2 or 3 topics which is very relevant, very important to share more insights and eventually to answer all the questions that were discussed in the panel discussion just before me. And I wanted to thank Mr. Praveen, whether it is intentional, not intentional, the timing was perfect. So I came second. So why is Sweden? So Sweden, as a foundation, they started R&D is the core of their overall economic development. The way they work, the way they are generating the future entrepreneurs. They are ranked #1 in EU in the innovation and second in the Global Innovation Index. The reason for that is they are investing 3% of their overall GDP in the R&D. And I'm hearing the word China again and again, but I'll come back to that later. So I'll tell you where the China has learned and where India can look forward to learn and be, I would say, a bit more ahead also than China in many of those areas. There are around 100 plus 500 companies which are located in Sweden. The good thing about Sweden is if any international company wanted to access, interact, they are very English proficient versus China, Japan, Germany, where it is a bit more of a challenge. Corporate tax rate is also quite competitive compared to the globally. It's around 20.6%, and it's ranked among the top countries to work. And I would say is one of the most secure and easy country to start if you are looking to access Europe. So what is Sweden stands for? I have just put up an array of the companies who have been in this industry for almost, I would say 300, 400-year-old organizations. These are the benchmark leaders. They have innovated the product. Products are known by their name. I have heard of one word, Ericsson, in the 5G telecom. But there are so many companies which I wanted to bring here, and they represent various diversified sectors, be it automotive, life sciences, materials, and electrification and sustainability is one of the core area. If you can see on the right-hand side, the companies, they are in the forefront who are developing the next generation of mobilities, electrifications, fully autonomous, fully electrified solutions, boats, airplanes, trucks. So you name it, Sweden has the product. Yes, Indian companies are also there in Sweden. There are around 70 plus companies and they're expanding. And this is the reason I'm here today. I wanted to interact and understand what are the needs of Indian industries, their focus areas, and what they're looking especially in terms of technology, know-how, primarily wanted to expand joint ventures. So I'm looking forward to discuss throughout the day apart from this presentation. So why Sweden is strong and how Sweden has done it. I've also heard a word called early adopter. Sweden is an early adopter. Spotify, Klarna, Lovable, these are the companies and they're thinking not just 10 years ahead, they're thinking 50 years ahead on how the industries will transform, and they're thinking in their academic curriculum, their pilot projects, and they're questioning them again and again so that they can be at the forefront of the technology development. Strong enterprise support, yes. That's a core of it they are able to sustain for so long. It's a hot test bed for the companies to not only support startups, they want to scale up the technologies to the commercial stage as well. Sweden has the world's largest and leading test beds, which they are open to provide an access to the Indian companies. And I'll be happy to discuss also specifically on any specific companies looking for such access to these test beds, technologies, or the know-how around it. And yes, lastly, if any of the Indian company they are looking for European expansion or wanted to go beyond India, I think chemical is one of the stronghold of the Indian exports. However, if they are still looking forward to expand, Sweden provide to a very good, secure, and I would say one of the easiest landing ground in Europe. And how does it compare in terms of numbers for Sweden? So Sweden as a country, their export or their GDP depends on 50% on exports, and 50% of that exports comes from the international companies. So that's the importance, and I'm standing here today on the mandate provided by Swedish government to help Indian companies also explore Sweden. And there are around 800,000 jobs which are generated by international companies, which is almost equivalent to 20% of the overall Sweden workforce. And 40% of the overall R&D spend is actually done by the international companies. So that makes Sweden as a number one in the overall FDI when it comes to the international organizations who are expanding. So they have the institutional strength, they are the sustainability leaders, innovation ecosystem is quite present, it's widespread across the sectors, and they have one of the stable, most transparent business ecosystem. So I'll not spend more on the Swedish chemical value chain right now, I'll be happy to discuss this afterwards. But just to share some numbers, so Sweden net sales in the chemical stands at around 34 billion euro. It's quite dated. It's near around 40 billion euro right now. And the value addition is around 6 billion euro, including done by the international companies. And the exports are around 70 to 80% of that, around 29 billion euro. There are a mix of Swedish and international organizations present across the value chain, which is refinery, chemicals, plastic and rubbers, textile sorting and recycling. And this number is growing. So what do we do? So apart from the sectors that we discussed today, we are also present and supporting Indian companies, international companies, get an access, know-how, and scale globally. We are very much focused on energy and battery ecosystem. I've heard the cell chemistries, liquid to solid state. Sweden has started thinking about it, wanted to understand. They have already put up their overall roadmap on all these technologies so that they can develop it, they can co-partner, they can joint venture. So if I have to compare, don't compare Sweden with China. Sweden is here to provide the R&D, the know-how, and we are wanted to provide it for India to scale it up for the global level. We are very much focused on the transportation, mobility, automotive and e-mobility. Gothenburg is known as the automotive hub. We have big companies like Volvo, Scania who have been at the forefront. Advanced manufacturing is the core of Sweden's engineering know-how. Materials, Sweden is a global leader in metal powder and other various innovations which has been here and helping international organizations scale up their portfolios. Life sciences is also an area which is very much at the core of Sweden's innovation and innovations and collaboration with international organizations, and digital technologies is not untouched. Sweden is at the core of also developing the quantum technologies, closely working with the industry so that the data is primarily more data driven innovation. So how do we work with the Indian companies? I'll just share a very high level but happy to discuss later. So we help you identify what are the business opportunities in Sweden, in Nordics or in Europe. We can help you develop the business case on any scope of problem, whether it is finding or scaling the talent, R&D setup to a full scale greenfield manufacturing setup in Sweden. We have 30 plus years accumulated knowledge and guidance on helping international organizations scale in Europe. We have the highest connect on the networking with the industry, academy and R&D, not only in India but 50 plus home markets. If you are looking for site for companies in the manufacturing. We have a dedicated playbook framework. We can reduce your time from a dedicated framework of what you have planned to a few couple of months. And the companies who are already present in Sweden, we can help you make further business cases to expand beyond portfolio and take it to a different level. I'll pause here on doing business in Sweden. I'll be happy to discuss it one-to-one with the companies who wanted to understand, explore on how Sweden can help. China has done it. We look forward to help Indian companies do it the same way. And you don't have to go to Sweden. We are based in New Delhi. We are very near. We'll be happy to come over, interact, discuss, identify, scope out, and share on how you can also do it. So that is from my side, but thank you so much and happy to interact you after this presentation. Thank you.